Your morning holds a power you have long forgotten, a quiet magic that can reshape your entire day, your entire life. We rush into noise, but the wise seek stillness. A profound secret to attracting miracles lies in these first few moments. The final story I share today holds the key to unlocking it all. Stay and listen with an open heart. Emptying cup. Think of your mind when you first awaken. Before your feet even touch the floor, what is it filled with? For so many, it is already overflowing. It is a cup filled to the brim, not with fresh, clear water, but with the dregs of yesterday and the anxieties of tomorrow. It is filled with the echoes of conversations, with the weight of unfinished tasks, with the faint tremors of old fears, and the loud demands of the coming day. We wake up, and we are already carrying a heavy burden. We believe this is normal, this is just what it means to be an adult, to be responsible. But this is a profound misunderstanding of how we are meant to exist. This cup, your mind, is so full that there is no space for anything new to enter. There is no room for peace, no room for clarity, no room for a moment of unexpected joy, and certainly no room for a miracle. A miracle requires space. It requires emptiness to manifest within. How can a solution appear if the mind is already crowded with the problem? How can wisdom whisper its secrets to you if you are deafened by your own inner noise? This is why the first and most essential practice of the morning is not to add something, but to take something away. It is the practice of emptying the cup. It is a gentle, compassionate act of pouring out all that you have carried through the night, all that does not serve you in the new light of dawn. You do not do this with force. You do not struggle to push the thoughts out. That is like trying to flatten waves in the ocean with your hands. It only creates more turmoil. Instead, you simply acknowledge that the cup is full. You observe its contents without judgment. You see the worry, the list, the memory, and you let it be. The simple, silent intention to let go is the beginning of the process. You simply decide, in this moment, I will be empty. Imagine a room that has been sealed for a year. It is stuffy, dusty, and dark. You would not enter this room and begin fighting the dust, swatting at it, yelling at it to leave. This is futile. What you would do is simple. You would walk to the window, unlatch it, and gently push it open. You would let the fresh morning air circulate. You would let the sunlight stream in. The light and the air do the work for you. The dust does not vanish instantly, but it is disturbed, lifted, and gently carried away. Your morning meditation is the act of opening this window in the mind. The stillness, the quiet, the conscious breath. This is the fresh air and the sunlight. It does not attack your worries. It simply creates an environment where they can no longer stagnate. It aerates your consciousness. This process of emptying is not about becoming a blank slate, devoid of thought. It is about becoming a clear vessel. When your mind is a clear vessel, you begin to see the world as it is, not as your fears and biases project it to be. The so-called miracles are often not grand, supernatural events that descend from the heavens. They are the subtle opportunities, the quiet synchronicities, the gentle nudges from the universe that were there all along, but which you were unable to perceive because your cup was too full. A person whose mind is cluttered with worry about money will walk past a person who holds the key to a new opportunity, and they will not even see them. Their perception is narrowed by the problem. But a person who has emptied their cup in the morning, who walks into the world with a sense of spaciousness, sees everything with fresh eyes. They notice the subtle cues, the chance encounter, the quiet idea that floats into their awareness. This is the miracle of perception. It is born not from adding more, but from becoming less. The practice itself is one of grace. Find a quiet place, even for just 5 minutes. Sit and close your eyes. Do not demand that your mind be silent. Simply give it permission to be as it is. And then, with each exhale, imagine you are pouring out the contents of your cup. With each breath out, you release a little more of yesterday. You release the need to control tomorrow. You are not forcing, you are releasing. You are not fighting, you are allowing. You will feel a subtle shift, a lightness, a sense of space opening up within you. This is the fertile ground. You have tended to the soil. You have pulled the weeds of anxiety and the rocks of old resentment. You have created a space for something new and beautiful to grow. This is the first, most fundamental secret. Before you ask for a miracle, you must first make room for it. You must present the universe with an empty, waiting cup. The universe always fills what is empty. It is a law of nature. So begin your day not by grasping, but by releasing. Begin your day by emptying your cup. Silent observation. Once the space has been created, once the cup is no longer overflowing, a new practice can begin. This is the art of silent observation. This is where true power is cultivated. Most people believe that to control the mind, you must wrestle with it. You must force it into submission. This is the way of conflict, and it will only ever lead to more conflict. The mind is like a wild horse. If you try to break it with force, it will fight you with all its might. But if you sit patiently in the field with it, day after day, simply watching it without threat, eventually it will grow calm in your presence. It will approach you out of curiosity and trust. Your consciousness is the patient observer. Your thoughts are the wild horse. The goal is not to break the horse, but to befriend it. The goal is not to silence your thoughts, but to become so still that they quiet themselves in your presence. Think of it this way: you are not your thoughts. This is a revolutionary idea for many. We are so identified with the voice in our head that we believe we are that voice. But you are not. You are the one who hears the voice. You are the awareness in which the thoughts appear. Imagine you are the vast blue sky. Your thoughts, your emotions, your sensations, they are merely clouds passing through. Some are dark and stormy, some are white and fluffy, some are thin and wispy. The clouds are constantly changing, constantly moving. But you, the sky, are ever present, untouched and unchanged by the clouds that pass through you. The mistake we make is that when a dark storm cloud of anger or sadness appears, we think, I am the storm. We contract around it, identify with it, and get lost in it. The practice of silent observation is to remember, I am the sky. The storm is just a cloud passing through. So as you sit in your morning stillness, having emptied your cup, you simply watch. A thought will arise. I have to remember to send that email. Instead of grabbing onto it, analyzing it, and letting it lead to 10 other thoughts about work, you simply notice it. You label it gently in your mind, thinking, and you let it go. You watch it as you would watch a leaf floating down a stream. You do not jump into the water to chase it. You do not build a dam to stop it. You sit on the bank and you watch it float by, eventually disappearing from view. Another thought will come, a worry about a family member. You see it. You acknowledge its presence, perhaps with a sense of compassion. Ah, there is worry. And you let it float by too. You are not being cold or uncaring. You are refusing to be swept away by the current. By staying on the bank, you preserve your strength, your clarity, and your peace. From this place on the bank, you can act wisely when the time comes. In the middle of the current, you can only flail and struggle. This practice is one of immense kindness to yourself. For years, you have been bullied by your own mind, the inner critic, the worrier, the catastrophizer. These thought patterns have been running the show, pulling you into states of anxiety and stress without your permission. Silent observation is the act of lovingly reclaiming your power. You are not fighting the bully. You are simply taking a step back and seeing it for what it is. Just a pattern of energy, a collection of thoughts, not the truth of who you are. In the space that opens up between you, the observer, and the thought, there is freedom. This space is the source of all peace. At first, the space may be very small, just a split second before you get hooked by a thought. But with practice, that space grows. It becomes a minute, then 10 minutes, then it begins to permeate your entire day. You will be in a difficult meeting and you will feel anger arise. But because you have practiced, you can observe the anger as a cloud, and you don't have to become the storm. You can choose a wise response instead of a knee-jerk reaction. This is a true miracle. It is the miracle of inner freedom. Do not be discouraged if your mind seems incredibly loud when you first begin. This is normal. It is as if you have been living next to a noisy factory your whole life, and you have tuned it out. The moment you decide to listen, you suddenly realize how deafening the noise is. This is a sign that you are becoming more aware, not that you are failing. The practice is not to have a perfectly silent mind. The practice is to gently, patiently, and lovingly return your attention to the role of the observer over and over and over again. Each time you notice you have been carried away by a thought, and you gently return to your breath, to the sky-like awareness, that is a moment of victory. That is the repetition that builds the muscle of mindfulness. So be patient, be the mountain. The wind and the rain will beat against the mountain, but the mountain remains unmoved, steadfast and silent in its own great presence. Be the mountain. Watch the weather of your mind come and go. Planting seeds. Now that the ground has been tilled by the emptying of your cup and the air has been cleared through silent observation, the soil of your mind is fertile. It is receptive. It is ready. This is the moment for the third practice, the gentle planting of a seed. This is often misunderstood in the modern world as a process of aggressive demanding, of creating vision boards and shouting affirmations at the universe. That is the way of force, of ego. It can work, but it is exhausting, and it often comes from a place of lack, a feeling that something is missing. The way of wisdom, the way of the Tao, is much quieter, much gentler, and infinitely more powerful. It is not about demanding a flower. It is about planting a seed, nurturing the soil, and trusting that nature will do the rest. The miracle is in the trust, not in the forcing. What seed do you wish to plant for the day? This is a question to ask your heart, not your head. The head will ask for external things, a promotion, more money, a new car. The heart asks for states of being. Perhaps the seed you wish to plant today is peace, or maybe it is clarity. It could be patience, kindness, courage, or creativity. Choose one, just one. Do not overwhelm the soil with 100 different seeds. Choose the one quality that, if it were to blossom in your day, would change everything for the better. Once you have chosen your seed, you hold it gently in your awareness. You are not forcing it. You are not striving for it. You are simply introducing it into the quiet, fertile space you have cultivated. You might whisper the word internally once or twice, peace, and then you let it go. You release it into the soil of your being. You have planted the seed. The work is done. Now you must trust. A wise farmer knows that after he plants a seed, he cannot dig it up every hour to see if it is growing. He cannot yell at it to sprout. This would destroy it. His job is to plant it in good soil, ensure it has access to sunlight and water, and then to let go. He trusts in the greater intelligence of nature, the force that knows how to turn a tiny dormant seed into a magnificent tree. Your morning practice is the tilling of the soil. Your chosen intention is the seed. Your trust is the sunlight and the water. You plant the seed of clarity in the morning, and then you go about your day. You do not keep checking, am I clear yet? Is it working? You simply trust that you have planted the seed. And then the miracle begins to unfold in subtle ways. What happens is that the planted seed acts as a gentle, subconscious filter for your perception. Because you have planted the seed of clarity, you will find yourself in a complex situation later that day, and an insight will arise seemingly from nowhere. An answer will appear in your mind, simple and obvious. It feels like a miracle, a sudden gift of wisdom, but it is the fruit of the seed you planted. The seed tuned your awareness to seek and receive clarity. If you had started your day with a cluttered, chaotic mind, that insight would have been drowned out by the noise. The opportunity for clarity would have passed you by unnoticed. The universe is always offering these gifts, but we are rarely in a state to receive them. The planting of the seed makes you receptive. Imagine you plant the seed of kindness. You release it and go about your day. Later, someone cuts you off in traffic. The old automatic reaction might have been anger, a jolt of frustration. But because the seed of kindness is dormant within you, a different possibility arises. A space appears between the event and your reaction. In that space, a thought might emerge. Perhaps they are rushing to the hospital. Perhaps they are having a terrible day. You are able to respond with a breath of patience instead of a fist of rage. You have just witnessed a miracle. You have transformed a moment of potential conflict into a moment of grace. This is not a small thing. This is how the world is changed, one small internal miracle at a time. The seed you plant in the morning becomes the flower that blooms in the afternoon. So choose your seed with intention. Plant it with gentle trust, and then watch. with a sense of quiet wonder as your day begins to blossom in the most unexpected and beautiful ways. Effortless action. We now arrive at the final and perhaps most profound piece of this morning puzzle. It is the bridge between the inner world of stillness and the outer world of action. It is the secret to how the peace and clarity you cultivate in the quiet of the dawn can be carried with you through the chaos and demands of your day. This is the principle known in the ancient texts as Wu Wei. It is often translated as non-action or non-doing, but this can be misleading. It does not mean to sit and do nothing. It means effortless action, or action that does not involve struggle. It is the art of moving with the natural flow of life, like a boatman who uses the river's current to reach his destination rather than trying to row against it. This is the ultimate miracle, a life that unfolds with grace and ease, rather than one that feels like a constant battle. Most of us live our lives in a state of resistance. We push, we force, we struggle, we strive. We have a rigid idea of how things should be, and we expend enormous amounts of energy trying to bend reality to our will. We swim against the current. We try to force open doors that are locked while ignoring the doors that stand wide open beside us. This way of living is utterly exhausting. It leads to burnout, frustration, and a sense of being at war with the world. The morning practice of emptying, observing, and planting is the antidote to this struggle. It attunes your senses to the subtle currents of the Tao, the flow of life itself. When you are quiet and centered, you can begin to feel which way the river is flowing. Imagine you are a magnificent oak tree. You do not struggle to grow. You do not strain to reach for the sun. You simply are. You sink your roots deep into the earth and you open your leaves to the sky. You receive the nourishment of the soil and the energy of the sun, and growth is the natural result. You do not worry about the storm. You bend with the wind, and your deep roots hold you firm. This is Wu Wei. The morning meditation is the act of sinking your roots. You ground yourself in the stillness, in the earth of your own being. Then, as you move into your day, you can open your leaves to whatever comes. Because you are rooted, the winds of chaos cannot uproot you. You can bend, you can adapt, you can respond with flexibility and strength. You act from a place of deep, quiet stability, not from a place of reactive panic. This is how it manifests practically. You have a long to-do list. The old way would be to attack it with frantic energy, trying to force everything to completion. The way of effortless action is different. You look at the list from your centered state. You feel which task feels most aligned right now. Which action feels like it has a natural sense of timing and ease. You start there. You might find that by doing the one easy thing first, it unlocks the solution to the three hard things. You listen to your intuition, which is simply the voice of the Tao whispering to you. You begin a project and you hit a wall. Instead of hammering against it, you pause, you take a breath, you remember the stillness from your morning, you decide to work on something else for a while, and when you return, the solution to the wall is suddenly obvious. You didn't force it, you allowed it. This is acting in flow. This is the miracle that everyone is seeking. They want life to be easier. They want to attract success and opportunity without the soul-crushing grind. The secret is not in a new productivity hack or a more aggressive strategy. The secret is to change your own state of being. When you operate from a place of inner peace and alignment, you become like a magnet for a different kind of reality. People are more drawn to your calm energy. Solutions present themselves because your mind is open enough to see them. You make better decisions because you are not clouded by fear or desperation. You achieve far more with far less effort because you are no longer fighting the universe. You are dancing with it. The morning practice is where you learn the steps to the dance. You learn to listen to the music of the Tao. You learn to trust your partner, which is life itself. So, the way you wake up truly does determine your reality. You can wake up, fill your cup with anxiety, and go to war with your day, swimming against the current until you are exhausted. Or, you can wake up, empty your cup, observe the sky of your mind, Plant a seed of grace, and then move into your day like a master boatman, using the very currents of life to carry you toward your destination with effortless power. The choice is yours every single morning. This is not just meditation. This is the art of living. This is the path to welcoming miracles, not as rare, random events, but as the natural and expected consequence of a life lived in harmony with the way. This is not a trick. This is not a technique you try once to see if it works. This is a return to the quiet, powerful, and infinitely wise nature that already exists within you, buried beneath the noise of the modern world. The miracle is not that the world changes, but that you do, and in changing, you begin to perceive the magic that was always there. Begin each day with this sacred pause, with this gentle return to your center, and you will not just watch miracles happen. You will become the space through which they are born. For years, I've been wrestling with my anxiety, trying to fight it and force it away. This morning, I tried this. Instead of fighting, I just watched it. I saw the anxiety as a gray cloud passing through the sky of my mind. It was still there, but it wasn't me. For the first time, I felt a sense of space around it. I almost cried from the relief. Thank you for this. This changes everything.